It would help if I remove the title screen there. It is Wednesday, May 28th. It is time to get in the weeds. As you can see, Joel Pearl's not here. Two Shoal Joel running from the grind, as usual, making me do hosting duties on a Wednesday, which I'm not used to doing. So I left the title screen up too long. I'm Jeremy Lambert. That is SP3. We're here 3 days a week because Joel runs from the grind. He doesn't want to talk about AEW because he buries it. He doesn't want to talk about NXT because they put the TNA title on an NXT person. So he was like, I already got to watch TNA. Now you're forcing me to watch NXT because the TNA champion is on NXT. And then NXT last night just decides, you know what? You know what we're going to do? We're just going to switch all the titles. Where all these champions you like, we're just going to put the titles on completely different people. Forget what you like. We don't care what you like. New champions for everybody. How you doing, SP3?
I am doing well. I did not expect to be on today's show. I'm currently working at the time. Well, I'm on break technically right now, but the last hour I'll be working at the same time that I'm on this show. But if you guys need me to fill in, I'm always gonna be here. This is what I do. This is what we do. We just read the GPS and I just come through on a Wednesday on In the Weeds, and this is what we do. So yes, we got a lot to discuss. NXT was a busy one because they were supposed to be in Tampa. I really feel like this would have went down anyway because of that Tampa show. They had to make that a noteworthy show. So I think this would have been happening anyway. But the fact that it happened on a show that was in the PC was just like, goddamn, y'all never put in this much effort when y'all in front of the same PC fans. Yeah, this is a rare occasion. I woke up to complete and utter madness. Ricky Saints, I keep trying to call him Starks. Ricky Saints losing the North American Championship. What does that mean? We don't know. It does mean that we're going to get a North American four-way matchup at Worlds Collide featuring talent from AAA and SmackDown. We're also going to get more action for Worlds Collide as Stephanie Vaquer will team with Lola Vice to verse Chick Tormenta and Delis. And apparently Stephanie Vaquer is no longer the NXT Women's Champion. Why? Because she's going to get called up to the main roster, which makes a lot of sense. And also because the reason why Jordynne Grace wasn't the one who dethroned her for the NXT Women's Championship is because Jordynne Grace is getting called up to the main roster, and Jayne, the longest tenured member of the NXT Women's division, is the champion. After long lags, the last remaining member of Toxic Attraction back on top of the NXT universe, being crowned NXT Women's Champion. A lot went down on NXT. Probably the most noteworthy NXT from the Performance Center ever. Probably ever. Yeah, I'll put it out there. That's my hot take. It's probably the most noteworthy NXT edition to take place from the Performance Center. We got a lot to discuss there. We got some news to discuss from AEW, Double or Nothing. Firstly, some people, according to some journalists out there, think that the AEW pay-per-view was too long, which it was, but we didn't need that type of energy out there. Just putting that out there. And then, you also got a report from our very own Sean Rossap, Fightful Select, about the decision making for the AEW Double or Nothing main event. We're going to discuss as well. Maybe we might discuss some other things, but me and Jeremy are here, and we're here on a Wednesday, so screw it. We got to talk some basketball, and I have breaking news. Breaking news.
Oh boy. Oh, okay. All right. I feel like I know where this is going, but go ahead.
So via some bumping around in the line, the velvet rope has been opened early. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is officially in Club Superstar. He is marching his way to the VIP section. He will be invited into the VIP section upon the result of tonight's game. Because why is he in there without him playing a game last night? Is because the bouncer found out that someone else got a real ID. Someone else got a real ID. And that ID says this generation's Chris Paul, except he can win and make it to the NBA Finals as the lead star of his team. Tyrese Halliburton. Velvet rope is being open. You're one win away from being invited into Club Superstar. What a performance last night by Tyrese Halliburton. One of the greatest point guard performances in NBA playoff history. 32-point triple-double, 15 assists, 0 turnovers. A virtuosa performance by Tyrese Halliburton. The bouncer has his ID in hand. He has checked the ID. It's a real ID. The velvet rope is about to be opened. Tyrese Halliburton in Club Superstar. That is the breaking news. Hey, Gilgeous-Alexander in Club Superstar might be getting VIP status. And the velvet rope has been opened for Tyrese to get that Club Superstar status. That is
I like that you call them this generation's Chris Paul. I don't remember if I said it on this show, but I have text messages to prove that I said this after game 1 when Halliburton hit the shot. I texted Sammer and I said, he's legitimately this generation's Chris Paul in terms of style and numbers, except he's already had way more playoff success and big moments. It's true. I mean, the way he plays, he doesn't put up, he put up 30 last night, but typically he doesn't put up 30. He averages like 19. I know I said on the show, if he had a better shooting motion, he'd be more highly regarded, but his shooting motion looks like trash. And so aesthetically, you can't copy his, like, whatever the hell that is that he tries to shoot the ball. Oh, Steph, quick release, everyone likes that. Halliburton with the whatever that is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's Chris Paul. The way he leads the team and runs the offense, this is why I love Halliburton, because I always, not that I was a good basketball player or anything, but I like playing like Steve Nash. I like getting others involved and making the right plays. I'm white. I can shoot a little bit, but I like, making sure I get the team involved. So I was like pass first point guards, and like watching Halliburton play is a lot of fun. It was great last night, man. He was so good. He's so much fun to watch as well. Indiana's a lot of fun. They're going to be, assuming they make it to the finals. They still got one more win, but assuming they make it to the finals, they're going to be fun to watch. They're going to be a tough challenge for Minnesota or OKC. I'm glad Shea is in Club Superstar. I think he was being disrespectful. You were being disrespectful, disrespected. He's the MVP.
I've been saying he's at the lead. He was in the lead to get in the Club Superstar.
But I understand. But you put in Anthony Edwards in and not Shea in your reasoning. I took umbrage with it.
Some people get into Club Superstar with an ID and an MVP trophy. Some people come into Club Superstar with bodies by their wayside, and that's how they get into Club Superstar. And if those bodies are the people that are in Club Superstar, then you're invited access. But after the way he played in Game 4, like I said, he's being denied drinks right now at the bar. He hasn't even gotten to VIP. He's being denied drinks. He's in Club Superstar, but his status, he might be invited. He might be told to get out. He might be ejected out of Club Superstar.
Outside of Jokic, the bodies he took in, he dug up out of the grave. Like,
oh, come on. Come on, dog.
He didn't do anything.
Dog.
They were already down, and he dug them up. And then he's like, look what I got, guys. It's like, yeah. They've been decomposed and rotted for the past couple of years now. Congratulations.
Luka is not a decomposed body. Luka is part of the bodies that he brought in. Luka's been in Club Superstar, so he got his body and he invited him in. Jokic as well. Come on, what we doing, dog? Come on, man. I let him in. He's in. He's not only in. He's gonna be in the VIP club. We're gonna have to invite all the old men out of the VIP club. Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, they all gonna be invited out of the VIP room, and it's just gonna be Shea. And Jokic is right at the door. He might get kicked out too.
Luca was smelling like grease when he got the body dug up. That's how Luca was. The others were completely decomposed. That was just like, oh, cool. You brought a bag of bones with you. Good, congratulations.
So disrespectful.
Luca was just fried, like he was in the air fryer for too long. That's what the body he got with Luca.
So disrespectful. I won't be handling all of this. Like, come on, man.
As we're 10 minutes
disrespect
in,
these legends.
I can.
I know you have. You have. You can, and you have.
I can. It's F Kevin Durant. I mean, I'm 10 minutes in. I could curse. It's F Kevin Durant 24/7 around here. That's all it is. Guys, leave a thumbs up on the video. That helps us out. Leave a super chat. Come on, fireworks. There we go. Leave a super chat. Get your question, comment, statement read on the air. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. We appreciate you. We're here 5 days a week. I'm here 5 days a week. SP3's here at least 2. 2-show Joel is here, maybe 2. And then it just kind of rotates on who's here 3 days a week nowadays. It's not Joel. Joel's typically not here 3 days a week. James Harden ain't in the club anymore. James Harden.
Yeah, he got bounced out. He got bounced out when he left Philly. When he left Philly, the playoff series against Boston, he got bounced out at Club Superstar. The bouncers was like, "We got to escort you out, sir. You've been here too long. You've had too many jinks. You had too many lemon pepper wings. That we need to invite you out."
James Harden is at home. He's already, he got an Uber home. He might have taken some women with him, and he's chilling. He's still living a good life. He's okay.
Who's on bouncer watch? Actually, Kawhi went to the hospital, so he's not in Club his Superstar either. So, I was gonna say he's on watch, but he just got bounced out. Joel Embiid, I told you he got his chain snatch. So
why was Joel Embiid in the club in the first place? Why?
I don't know how he got in here. I was wondering that too.
If it took this long for Shea to get in there, how did Joel Embiid get in there?
That's what I said. Like, I'm the owner and facilitator of Club Superstar, and I come down, I'm like, what you doing in here? You wasn't supposed to be in here. Get out.
You gotta run a tighter ship here, SP3.
That's my bad. That's my bad, y'all. That's my bad, y'all. My bad.
It took Shea this long to get in, and yet Embiid, how can he sneak in? He's 7 foot tall. You can't sneak in. Come on now.
He limped in.
Exactly. That's worse. He can barely walk, and he still got in. How do you let that happen?
I don't understand. They thought this was back when Club Superstar. They just thought all you need is an MVP to get in. And this was like, nah, B. We gotta run a tight. You gotta have the personality. You gotta have the numbers. You gotta be one of the best players in the world, and you gotta make it to a conference finals. You gotta make it to a conference final to even be on the line, and that's why Joel Embiid he's at the hospital too. He's right behind Kawhi Leonard. They into club hospital out there in these streets.
Is Ja in the club? Is Kyrie?
Nah, he's never. Kyrie's never been in the club. Kyrie's been on the line. He's been on the line before, but he never been in the club.
Ja can't. I don't know if he makes it through the metal detector. That's a tough one for Ja.
Yeah, that's true. I already told you, it's the Club Superstar is very limited. We only have limited space here in Club Superstar. LeBron's still here, but between me and you, we're gonna have to get him. You
didn't want LeBron in there in the first place. You begrudgingly
let LeBron in here. He needed a Laker jersey to get into Club Superstar for me, but he's probably been in Club Superstar a lot longer. I just took over management back in like 2019, 2018. So, then you have Steph Curry. He's good, even though he's hurt. He's good. His status. He probably got one more year though. Then we got Kevin Durant, which I think his chain has been ticking as well. I think he's gonna head to the police station and get on out of here. Get on out of here, sir. Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Ant-Man, Shea.
Ant.
You know, Ant-Man gets like the pretty girl boost. You know how the pretty girl goes up to the line real fast, and you know sometimes she can get her friends in there. Ant-Man ain't that pretty. He ain't that pretty, but he got a pretty personality. He got the personality to be up in here. Tatum's still on the line. Like Tatum got a championship, and he's still on the line.
I don't even like Tatum, but how is Tatum not in there? He's got a championship. Come on.
It takes more than a championship. Like I said, you gotta. This is an individual club superstar. If Tatum gonna take the whole Boston Celtics team into the club, sure, they could all be in. The Boston Celtics are in club superstar. If you want to do it that way, but I'm not gonna give him, you know, a team accomplishment. I'm not gonna give him access into club superstar.
All right. If there's beeping, it's probably on my end. I'll try to fix it. Hold on.
Yeah, I was like, man, is Jeremy hooked up to the one of those like beeping things from the hospital? Sounded like they were taking your heart rate and stuff, man.
All right, is that better? Is it gone? Is it still there?
That's the sound my other mic was making. That I had to switch to my original mic here.
I switched over. Hopefully, it's okay now. We'll see if it still continues.
I don't hear it anymore.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. My bad.
Nah, Kyrie is not in Club Superstar. What are we talking about here? He made the game-winning shot in Game 7 in 2016. So we letting in Robert Horry into Club Superstar now?
I mean, there's got to be like a space in the club for them.
With this Club All-Star? This Club All-Star down the street? That's fine. He's in Club All-Star. But Club Superstar, we gotta keep this. We gotta keep this very prestigious. What are we doing here? Let's stop playing games. He in Club All-Star down the street. Sometimes you can go from Club All-Star to Club Superstar. Shea been in Club All-Star for like a couple of years now, and then he got to the front of the line. We invited him front of the line with an MVP trophy in the year that he had, and now he's in Club Superstar. Look at that! Look how fast things can progress in your life. But Kyrie, he never took that next step to get into Club Superstar. What are we talking about here?
Grace, this will never happen. I refuse. There is a stream somewhere online on our Twitch channel. I don't know if it still exists because it was years ago. It's me, Joel, and Rob Wilkins, and we were watching the Avs. It's a first round playoff game for the Avs, and I think the Avs are up 2-1, 1-0 in the series. I don't even remember. They're in the series. I apologize for the beeping. I don't know. I've switched everything. I don't know what you want.
What's your mic?
I don't know if it's my mic or it's my headphones. Like I switch my headphones to plug them in elsewhere, and you know they're plugged into my mic right now. Sometimes I plug them into my computer. Like my headphones are kind of wonky. Like they're a little older. I should maybe get new ones, but I don't want to because they still work. It's not like they're bad or anything, but I guess it just beeps when I'm on stream sometimes. Like it happens sometimes, but then other shows it's fine. So I'm not gonna like drop a bunch of money on headphones when it doesn't happen too often, and I can typically fix it. But anyway, I was saying there's a stream. We're watching the Avs game. It's an Avs playoff game, and like I'm just like yelling at Joel and Wilkins, and they're not doing anything wrong. But like they're like talking when a goal is scored, and I'm telling them to like shut the fuck up. I'm just like, can y'all just shut up? Like I've said it many times. I don't like watching games with other people. So like doing a stream, like live watching my team play, that sounds like the worst thing in the world. I'll get mad, guys. I ban people in the chat the day after a game. I block people on Twitter, like moments after games if you tag me and stuff. You really you want to just be banned? You really just want to be yelled at? You all have like humiliation kinks or something? I mean, if you do, like cool, but
yeah, we don't judge people for their kinks.
No. But like, is that what y'all want? Because that's what would happen. Like if we're watching an OKC game and I'm doing a stream, because y'all are gonna say something and I'm just gonna ban you immediately. Like that's what's gonna happen. And then it's just gonna be, and you're not gonna have any chatting to do.
then,
So yeah,
and then
I will
it's just
never
gonna
do
be
a live stream
Jeremy
of me
watching Thunder. It's just gonna be me and Jeremy watching Thunder with no people in the chat because he's gonna block everybody.
I'll kick SP3 out. SP3 will say something. You'll say something. Like you won't even mean to say it. You'll think it's like you'll think it's funny, or you'll think it's like fine, and I will take it the wrong way. Like I don't want to watch the game with anybody. I just don't. The only person I can like tolerate like watching the game is if Sammer and I, but we don't watch it together. We text during it and everything, and then we talk afterwards. But we're not like watching it. I feel so bad for my poor wife who like has to be in a separate room from me. Like she's just like, nope, I don't want to. I'm waking the kids up. You know, I'm watching the game the other night and I'm screaming, let's fucking go, come on. And then like the kids are like, what's your problem, dude? Like just game's on.
It's game time. What are we talking about?
Get out of here. Quit bothering me when the game's on. Where's your mother at? Didn't your mother tell you to stay away from me right now?
I love that. That's awesome.
Nah, you don't want me to do a live stream of a game. The closest you'll get, and this is very stupid of me to even say, the closest you'll get is if by some chance, some miracle, the Thunder win a title this year or in the future, and my wife happens to record my reaction. That's the closest you're getting to that. Like otherwise you're not getting a live stream out of me of a game. Legitimately, they could be up 3-0 in a series. Like, for example, let's say tonight, they're up 3-1 in the series, right? Things are looking good in this series. If there was ever going to be a time to do a stream, like, yeah, 3-1 in the series, they're looking good. Like, what's the worst that could happen? The thing is, the worst that could happen is they could lose, and then they could lose again and lose again. And I've seen this happen. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. This channel will cease to exist if that happens. So yeah, it ain't happening. You'll never catch me doing a live stream on. My wife just messaged and said, unless they are up 75 with 0.23 seconds left, I don't assume I'll be near you in a championship game.
Very well said. Very well said.
Yeah, she knows. Like she understands. I'm not pleasant to be around. I'm just not. But the thing is, at least I admit that, right? I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, it'll be fine, it'll be great. Like, well, let's get together, have a good time, it'll be fun, have a little party. No, don't be around me. I don't want to be around me. You don't want to be around me either.
Right. I feel for her for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks or so. It seems like. We'll see.
Tim gets it. Like you got to watch the game alone. It's the only way to watch. Yeah, like I can't be around people. Like bless my wife. She watched the Avs run with me. And, that went well. I'm sure I was miserable for some of those games. I know I was miserable. Like, they only lost 4 times. I was still miserable that entire playoff run. But she watched most of those games with me. Basketball, like, even though hockey is legitimately my favorite sport, basketball is just a different, like, beast when it comes to how I react to stuff. None of it's good.
My missus watched the 2020 Lakers run. Because our kid was only like a couple of months old then. This is back when my daughter wasn't taking over the complete TV, and we could never watch anything except for Coco Melon and whatever she wants to watch. Now that she's older, but yeah, she watched that run with me. I'm not as as like that I have to watch it alone. I can watch it with other people.
I'll
just be pissed off if we lose.
I respect that you can watch it with other people. I don't have that capacity. Regular season, fine. You want to watch regular season games with me? No problem. I'll watch a regular season game with you the entire time. Like, yeah, the wife was mentioning I watched the Avs run because they won when we watched together and I sat in a certain spot on the couch. Yeah. It's like you have to sit here. I have to sit here. This is like the only way this is going to work. And that's how it is with the Thunder games now. It's like, no, I got to watch it in here because this is working. Now I have to watch it out here because that's working. Like, way too superstitious for my own good on this
Makes
stuff.
sense.
No, you don't want to watch these playoff games with me, and I don't want to watch them with you. Not my wife. I'll watch it with her. I'm talking like the general.
Yeah, the general public, the viewing audience.
Yeah, you don't want to watch it with me, and I don't want to watch it with you. So it's just best if I watch it alone. No, I'm not that. I don't break the TV. Like, I have to go for walks. That's the one thing that like I gotta do. Like when the Avs lost Game 7, I just like stormed out of the house, and I was gone for like a good hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And granted, that game started at like 8:30, so I was out until like 1:00 in the morning, just like roaming the streets. Like that's what I have to do. I gotta just walk and burn off energy because I can't like walk around the house and everything. Like there's just too many kids around here and just too much stuff around. So like I just gotta roam the streets, and that's where I'm at. Or like I like get in the car. I like get in my car and I just yell. That way, it's like confined and everything, and I'm like yelling out and in the world, and dogs start barking or neighbors come out like, what? It is 1 a.m. What are you yelling about? Like, well, my sports team just lost. Why aren't you yelling at 1:00 in the morning? That's what I want.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, quit looking at me funny. If you've not yelled at 1:00 in the morning because your sports team has lost, don't talk to me. So.
We're not the same. No, we are not the same.
Like I'm gonna be irrationally angry tonight if OKC loses, and I realize it's like, okay, we're still up in the series. Like things are still no, it doesn't matter.
But it is at home, so I can understand.
It's at home, and we've been here before.
Yeah.
The last time we were here, we blew a 3-1 lead.
I want to give it up for Oklahoma City Thunder because I know the fan base must be like, tired of losing and want to see a championship because they've been some of the best fans out there, especially in Oklahoma City and around the world as well, supported them through so much, and they are acting like they've been here before, unlike the dirty, disgusting, idiotic New York Knicks fans. You're getting what you deserve. All you Knicks. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm lying. I'm not sorry. I don't give a damn. You New York Knicks fans celebrate first round playoff wins. One win, not even the series win. Y'all celebrate first round series wins like some teams celebrate going to the conference finals. You celebrated the conference finals like you had won 3-peat in the NBA championship. Not even one NBA championship. Y'all celebrated and y'all acted a damn fool so damn much. I don't want to see y'all succeed. So y'all are getting what y'all deserve. And this is just a sample of the rant I will have for these New York Knicks fans if the Indiana Pacers get the job done. It's still 3-1. My prediction is still Knicks in 7. But goddamn, you Knicks fans. Y'all make me ashamed to be from New York City. That is all I got to say about that. I don't blame the players. I don't play Tom Thibodeau, even though he's not done the best coaching job in this series. I don't blame Jalen Brunson, who played his heart out yesterday, and Karl Anthony Towns. I'm wondering, that's what he does. Like, I've never thought that Jalen Brunson was a good defender. Like, I'll just say that. I've never thought that. He's a great offensive player. but he's never been a great overall player. This is literally, this is why I was always arguing against Nikola Jokic as MVP, because I feel like he's a great offensive player and so on the defensive end. So I'm not going to give credit to Jalen Brunson for being good on one end of the court. But the New York Knicks fans, man, y'all are the ones that just act a damn fool. Y'all act like y'all never been here before when y'all have. Y'all been to the NBA Finals. Yes, you had to wait 25 years to go to another conference finals, but y'all been to the NBA Finals. Act like you've been here before. Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's been a while. It's been a while.
I know it's been a while. But don't be jumping like you're freaking hyenas and jumping on freaking telephone poles like you're monkeys and stuff like that. Come on, man.
I respect that Ben Stiller, Timothy Chalamet, and Spike Lee traveled to Indiana for these games just to watch them lose in Game 4. That's a real fan right there. Those are real fans showing up to Indiana to still support the team. I respect it right there that they showed up. Yeah. We're going to have ratings discourse in the NBA if it's Thunder and Pacers.
Yeah, unfortunately we are.
Who cares?
Even though that's going to be the better series. Like Indiana matches up with OKC a lot better to me than the Knicks do. My nephew thinks it's going to be a sweep, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, how can you watch this series with the Knicks and think that Indiana is going to get swept by the OKC Thunder?
I don't like looking ahead. It's a 0-0 series. We still have to go up 1-0 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like looking ahead. But even before the conference finals, I was like, if the Knicks are there, I feel more confident. I actually feel really confident if the Knicks are there. And this is why, because I figured the Thunder could do to the Knicks what the Pacers are doing to the Knicks. And, the Pacers are doing that, and credit to them. The Pacers have ways to beat. They shoot so well from three. That's the other thing. Like, oh man, they're just OKC from three.
As much as Thunder feel like a team of destiny, so does the Indiana Pacers. The shot in Game 1, like 99.9% of the time, that's not going in. But 0.1 of the time it goes in is because this team is destined to go to the NBA Finals and destined to make a good run in those NBA Finals. So that's why I have a lot more faith of Indiana. I think Indiana and OKC, they match up very well together, and I think it's going to be some great games in the NBA Finals, regardless of how long you think it's going to go or not. It's going to be some great close games. So I'm looking forward to it if they do, both teams get the job done.
It's going to be the AEW of the NBA Finals. Great basketball, just pure hoops, and nobody's gonna watch.
Because nobody watches really good basketball. That's not a draw. We need the stories. We need the characters. We need the pomp and circumstance. We need the cinema.
Yeah, they need the big markets like New York. It's not our fault you didn't put the Thunder on Christmas Day, even though everyone knew they were going to be good this year. It's not our fault. ESPN is talking about, why do the Morris twins get on television?
Oh my God, dude! I watched what was it? I think it was Get Up with those two on it, and I'm like, oh my God! I thought they usually get like people with personality on these shows. Like they have no personality. They have no charisma. They know basketball. Don't get me wrong. They played basketball for how many years? They know basketball, but they have no personality. At least like Kendrick Perkins, who is like a net negative to basketball discourse in general. At least he's funny. He has a personality at least. But like, god damn. The Morris twins? Really? We scraping that low of the barrel? We couldn't get Pat Bev again? Pat Bev got a personality. He's hilarious.
How is the take there are no great teams left in the playoffs. So who's a great team if there are no great teams left? Were the Lakers a great team because they have LeBron and Luka? Or the Nuggets a great team?
Great teams.
Like what?
Historically great teams. That's what he
What?
meant.
There are no great teams left. I guess the league just sucks then. All the teams suck. Don't watch.
Everybody sucks.
Just every team sucks. Tim, it could very well be Timberwolves and Knicks in the finals next year. I do not write that off at all. I refuse to write that off. It's a 0-0 series. All right. We can talk about wrestling, I guess. That's unfortunate. NXT. Do you think if they had told the fans in Tampa, hey guys, we're going to do multiple title changes on this show. We're going to make sure you have a show worth coming out for. You think they would have sold more tickets instead of just hoping to coast on the WWE NXT name alone and announcing 2 matches beforehand? I wonder if they would have just been like, hey guys, you're going to get a noteworthy show. Just trust us on this.
Just come. Please show up. Just please show up.
And then they showed up and they're like, why is Jayne winning the NXT women's title in the main event? This is not a knock on Jayne. She's been in the Performance Center for a while. She's a good personality. She's a fine wrestler.
Yeah.
I still could not believe they put the title on her last night.
I think like people would be like, oh, it's because Stephanie's been so dominant as champion. That's what Stephanie's had the title for 2 months. So let's first of all, it's not been this like dominant reign of multiple months or multiple.
But she was a double champion and then had to relinquish one of the titles for
exactly. So like it's the fact that they did nothing to prepare the fans or to be like, Jayne, she's a credible challenger for the championship. She could win. They did none of that. They've literally had Jacy losing every singles matchup that she's pretty much been in for like the last. I want to check her record. What is her record? Check her record in singles competition over the last year. It's probably like 1 or 2 wins against someone Toxic Attraction's been feuded against, and then eventually that person beats them or beats one of their top people in a matchup. But like she was usually the person that would lose to people before Fallon Henley faced them for like the NXT Women's North American Championship, and she went from that to she was the third member of a 3-person group with Toxic Attraction, and she goes from that to winning the championship. They did nothing to help her build momentum. I think that Jacy for a while has been really good. Like I said after the ECW Arena show last year, that Jayne feels like she could be on the main roster like tomorrow. She seemed like she had all the nooks and crannies. She got all the little details right with her character, with her ability in the ring, where she was getting better, that she was ready to make that move if they wanted to do it as the total Toxic, I keep calling them Toxic Attraction. Fatal Influence group. Fatal Influence going into go to the main roster. But like I think that everybody was shocked mainly because they did nothing to help you prepare for Jayne becoming women's champion.
So her record, she hasn't wrestled a ton of singles matches, but I will say, so to start off, we're just looking at 2025 here. She lost to Vaquer in February. She lost to Masha Slamovich in a TNA match, but then she beat Carmen Petrovic. That was in March. And she beat Rosemary on TNA also in March. And then she won the title. So she's not wrestled a singles match in 2 months. And her last...
She was on a winning streak, though.
She was technically on a win. And she won on Booker T's show as well. Reality Wrestling. So if you want to count that one as well. So she was on a 3-match winning streak in singles competition. Well, there you go. That's where Jayne was. Her record isn't like as terrible. 2024 she didn't win at all, and then 2023 she was mainly on like Level Up and stuff. So it's not as bad as you may think it was, but she was mainly in tag team matches with the toxic, or now you got me calling them toxic attraction, with Fatal Influence.
Because it's the same group. What are we fool? Who they fooling? It's just the same group with a similar name.
Do you think like after she slapped Vaquer at Battleground, they're like, damn, that was hell. You know what? Let's just put the title on her. That slap alone. She laid that shit in there. We should reward her with this championship. I hope they made their decision just based on that.
Great angle. You're winning the NXT Women's Championship right then and there. I do agree with some of the people in the chat. I do like the shock of it all. The big surprise wins. You need that type of stuff to make your weekly television feel like it should be watched every single week, because you don't know what's going to happen. And I don't think anybody would have predicted that Jayne was going to win the NXT Women's Championship last night, especially after Vaquer just beat Jordynne Grace. You would thought that the title change would be in that matchup, so to immediately come back with another title matchup. Also, you already announced that. I think the real tipping point, the real foreshadowing, was the fact that they didn't give Vaquer a singles match or a triple threat with Dalys and Chick Tormento. They made it a tag team matchup. That was the only kind of foreshadowing that they had, because it was. I did find that to be strange, because I did not look on social media before watching it this morning. I went to Netflix and I watched it after washed the crust out my eyes and brushed my teeth, took care of my kids, make sure they ate and everything. I watched NXT without going on the internet yet, and I was like,
wow, brush your teeth. Brush your teeth before.
Yeah, gotta brush your teeth, man. Brush your teeth first thing in the morning. Sorry, that's what you should do.
Brush your teeth before taking care of your kids. Wow, can't believe it.
I didn't give it in the same order. I didn't put everything in order. Of course, the first thing I do is take care of my kids, because that's usually the reason why I'm waking up so damn early. Is my kids wake me up. That's what happens. But I did all that. I watched NXT, and the first foreshadowing that I was like, that's interesting. Why is that? Because the only thing that tipped me off was the True Hill Heat chat, when I see Drunk Guy JJ message True Hill Heat chat like, what the F? Really? Wow. And I was like, okay, that's a strange message. But it was around the time NXT was on. I was like, what happened in NXT to get that reaction? And then I watched the main event. I was like, now I get it. Now I understand. Okay. Yeah, that is a wow, what the fuck, really moment. So yeah, I like that type of stuff. It's a good thing to kind of switch things up. It does open the door for so many other people to win the NXT Women's Division. But now we're in kind of like a rebuild period with the NXT Women's Division, due to the news that came out after NXT, with the two top stars in the Women's Division are now going to the main roster, right behind two of the other top stars at the time, Roxanne Perez going to Raw and Julia going to SmackDown. But I'll let you say the news so you could do your short.
Oh, no, what news am I doing?
It looked like you blinked and then you paused at the same time. You froze at the same time.
Oh.
That was great.
My internet's been very wonky today.
Okay, so I'll do it. Hopefully I have the right voice for this short, and I'll promise not to curse. Well, Corey Haynes of PWN put out a report on social media following NXT. He was at the Performance Center for the show, and he reported that Stephanie Vaquer is on her way to Monday Night Raw, while Jordynne Grace is on her way to SmackDown. So it seems that both will be getting the call up to the main roster following their excellent matchup at NXT Battleground. And the NXT Women's Division is totally going to be reshuffled now that Jayne is the new NXT Women's Champion.
The writing was on the wall with Vaquer and Jordynne Grace, right? Like Vaquer gone up to Raw for a couple of stints after WrestleMania. It's like, oh yeah, she's probably coming up pretty soon. And then Julia coming up as well. And Roxanne coming up. So it looked like it was going to be sooner rather than later with them. And then Jordan, we talked about it on the show earlier that she's on a main roster deal, so she wasn't going to be super long in NXT because of that. So not surprised to see them both coming up. Was Jayne the right call to put the women's title on off of Vaquer? Remains to be seen. We'll see what they do when it comes to Jacy. Sean mentioning Kalani as a chance to become the next NXT Women's Champion. Kalani would have been a solid call on that. I know she just lost her North American title, not really rematch, but she lost the North American title bout at Battleground. But that she would have been someone who made sense. They've put some stock into Lola Vice as well. So
I would have said Sol Ruka if she didn't win the North American title. I felt like she was ready to get called up to the main roster before she wins the North American Championship at Stand and Deliver.
I understand why they're keeping Sol down there longer. Because I mean, if you're calling up Stephanie, Julia, Roxanne, and Jordan, like you gotta still have some people down there. Because
when I did predict that, I was thinking that one of those four, between Roxanne, Julia, Jordan Grace, and Stephanie Vaquer, one of them were going to stay on the roster to be kind of the anchor of everything.
Yeah. Jayne wins the title. Shocking moment, as we've discussed, and they were split. They were teasing the Fatal Influence split with Fallon Henley, making faces and acting like she was not happy that Jayne got this title shot and was in this position. And then, of course, they did not split, and now they will be a group to be reckoned with in the NXT world. I could see Zeno mentioning Zarya could get a monster push out of this. Could very well see that. I think Thea Hale should just stack all members of Fatal Influence, and that's how she should win the title. That's just me. I know she's now feuding with Jada Parker, but I think Thea Hale should be the champion for all time, and then go up to Raw and SmackDown, win those titles as well. That's just me personally. Where I would
Jada Parker gonna be the next NXT Women's Champion. Jada Parker.
Look, I'd say like no, I don't see it. But at this point, like it's kind of wide open with Jayne being the champion, because it looked like when you had the four who just got called up, it's like, oh well, you have these four who are just gonna kind of stay on top of the division and maybe trade off the title and everything. But now that they're all up there or going up to the main roster, it's like, oh, you got a kind of wide open division in there. Will Chisholm saying it's Indy Hartwell all over again with the shock of winning the title. Yeah, like I kind of see the point on that. Look, even Indy was surprised when she won the championship. He's like, why? Wait, I'm winning the title? Like, why? Huh? So I get the point of it being Indy Hartwell. Stephanie, Jordan, Julia all begged to be called up because they fear Thea Hale. 100%. That's exactly what happened. Thea Hale came back. All I'm saying, SP3. Thea Hale comes back. They all get moved up. Coincidence? Coincidence that they are all like, oh, never mind. We don't need to be down here anymore. The vision's in good hands with Thea Hale. We don't want that smoke. Roxanne knows what it was all about. That was when Thea was off television for damn near a year after that match with Roxanne, which was a great match. Roxanne was like, no, she's got next. We should just go to the main roster now because she's running this division for the next, as long as she wants to run the division for, until she gets called up to the main roster. And then we'll come back down to NXT, because then what are we supposed to do after that? Charlotte's going to be begging to go to NXT once Thea Hale comes up to the main roster. She's like, I've met my match. I can't do it anymore. How long do you think Jayne is the champion for?
I don't think it's going to be long. I can see her losing the NXT Women's Championship by Great American Bash. they're gonna need some big title changes and some big matches on that show, and I could see them having like a shock title, another big title change on that show. Maybe putting the title on a Jada Parker or Sol Ruka or Zarya, one of those. I know. Someone in the chat, like you said before, Kalani said Kalani, and I like Kalani. I just still think that she's pretty green in the ring. I think that she still needs a little bit more seasoning in the ring where she can like she's great. She has great athleticism, but character wise, they're trying some stuff with her being a lot more aggressive and frustrated with certain losses. So I could see them continuing to help her grow as a character before giving her the big opportunity as NXT Women's Champion. The ones that I feel are ready for that and have the character part pretty much down and have something interesting that they can do with the NXT Women's Championship would be someone like a Sol Ruka, a Zarya, a Jada Parker. Jada Parker is probably the leader in the clubhouse, in my opinion. Lola Vice is right behind them, even though I think that Lola Vice, she's had too many kind of failed attempts at like the NXT Women's Championship that I could see her being like someone that doesn't need to win the NXT Women's Champion, where she already has the charisma and kind of character part down, and she can go to the main roster, maybe team her and Vaquer up if you don't want to immediately push Vaquer into the what is it, WWE Women's World Championship title scene. You could kind of pair them up together and have them go after Liv and Raquel as a tag team, something like that. But the three that I mentioned, I feel like those are the ones that should be the next NXT Women's Champion.
My gut says Lola Vice gets it next. That's where I think they're going to lean. They've put a lot of equity into Lola Vice. They continue to put some equity into her, like teaming her with Vaquer for Worlds Collide. So it feels like she might get the belt next. It could happen as soon as Great American Bash or Evolution. I imagine we'll get an NXT Women's title bout on Evolution. So, but that just begs the question of, okay, what are you doing at Great American Bash then? Are you going to have 2 women's title matches that weekend, which not out of the realm of possibility or anything, but I would think for the Evolution show, you would want to showcase as many titles and women as possible. Honestly, they could possibly do a Legends bout for the NXT Women's Championship at Evolution. You know, Jacy, Jayne, and I'm just going to throw this out there. Jacy, Jayne, and Mandy Rose at Evolution 2 for the women's title. Just
love it.
Throwing ideas out there. You know, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but why not throw it?
I'm here for it.
Yeah, so.
Or Jacy Jayne versus the greatest NXT Women's Champion of all time, a returning Asuka.
Okay. I don't want that one. I don't think it's going to happen. But I mean,
no, I don't think
Mandy Rose.
I don't think either. Yeah, I don't think either one of those ideas is going to happen. But we're throwing stuff out there. Why the hell not?
No.
Lash Legend is another one where I feel like the Lash Legend, Lola Vice, they feel like people that I could see them getting a call up instead of just continuing to go into the NXT division, where I don't think they really fit as the next NXT Women's Champion. I feel like they are more of like I could see them more on the main roster than I could see them just continuing to kind of meter in the NXT Women's division the way they have been over the last couple of months. I think Lash Legend has shown enough improvement where she's ready for that role on the main roster right now. But it's all up there. Like Lash Legend's another option. Lola Vice, like you said, is another option. Lola Vice would make sense because she just got the win over Fallon Henley a couple of weeks ago. So you could continue with her going at it with Fatal Influence for a while. There's a whole bunch of different options. It's a very interesting time for the NXT Women's Division coming off of that title change.
Yeah. Again, shock title change. I thought Vaquer would have a longer reign and maybe drop it to somebody else down the line, but they decided to go with a big main event and decided to go with Jacy Jayne in that spot, and we'll see. We'll see what that leads to coming up, and we'll see if Jayne ends up getting a halfway decent run out of things. It won't surprise me if they just do a Fatal Influence breakup next week and Fallon turns on Jacy and that's the first challenger and Fallon even wins the title. Honestly, like it won't.
That adds up with how NXT does stuff. They just hotshot a lot of stuff, it seems, on NXT.
Jose saying, do you think the Knockouts title and Evolve Women's Championship gets defended on Evolution? Evolve Women's title, maybe. Knockouts title, no.
I think it's more likely the Knockouts title than the Women's Evolve Championship.
Okay, all right. I don't think they're putting a Knockouts title match on that show. I don't think they're putting the Evolve Championship on that show either, mind you. But I think it's more likely than the Knockouts Championship. I don't. I mean, they've had Masha on NXT TV just like showing up, but they haven't like really used her on NXT TV. She's still been in TNA canon more, and they've sent NXT women to her to beat.
Yeah,
it's not Joe Hendry was at least like doing stuff on NXT TV before losing the title, and he of course lost the title on an NXT pay-per-view. And Masha she gets the crowd appearance, and that's it. But otherwise stays in.
That was crazy. They just showed her in the crowd, never showed up again. It was just to build a matchup with Cora Jade for a TNA Plus special.
Yeah, I don't think they're putting too much stock in that TNA Knockouts title of, hey, we're gonna feature your champion and your title on our television program. Like, look at the difference here. This is what I'll say. Look at the difference of when Jordan was the champion and showing up on NXT compared to Masha being the champion and showing up on NXT. Jordan was getting matches. She even got the NXT title bout against Roxanne last year's show, and she was kind of regularly appearing. Masha got a crowd shot every now and again, and that was it. So I don't think they're putting too much into the Knockouts title with this partnership. So.
Unless they find out that Masha's contract expires in January, and then they'll start using her like they used Jordan Grace.
Very true, honestly.
Why do you think they've been using Joe Hendry so much? Because they know his contract is up at the end of the year. And I think that maybe with Mike Santana, he got such a great debut that maybe they know something we don't know about his contract status.
Yeah. I don't know what Santana's status is. Santana returned Rebellion last year?
Yeah, April of last year. So maybe it's like, maybe he signed a 2-year deal.
That's what I would suspect. Again, don't know fully.
But we're just going by what is it?
What called? Typically happens.
Typically what we typically see from TNA is that they're not like the WWE or the AEW who are always signing like 3 to 5 year contracts. You know, a New Japan who signs like 1 year contracts. TNA is more like 2 to 3 year contracts most of the time with what they do and how they use their people. And that's why like with AEW, it was a surprise to everyone that Mariah May was able to get a 2-year deal, because they usually sign everybody to 3 and 5 year contracts. So with Santana, I could see him signing a 2-year contract, and this is basically WWE being like, he's actually really good, because they gave him such a great intro. Like, they showed the video of him walking around in the Bronx from the TNA with him with the voiceover with his promo from Battleground. He had a good matchup with Tavion Hines. Then he got a promo segment after that. I was like, God damn. And then they booked him and Trick next week for the TNA World Championship. But I mean, I don't think it's been a while since I've seen a NXT match announced that I was just like, this screams DQ finish. Screams it at me.
what do you think? Joe Hendry gets involved? Like, how do you think
I
we
can
get
see
to the DQ on this? Because I wouldn't beat Santana, and I don't think
me either.
Santana is winning the title on just an NXT show, and unless they're going with Santana and Joe Hendry as the headliner for Slammiversary.
That
But
seems stupid.
yeah, I wouldn't put the belt on Trick for 2 weeks. That seems
Me either.
like, what's the point? Why would you do that?
Seems rather counterproductive, I
Yeah.
will say. I could see them doing a DQ finish. Maybe either Joe Hendry comes out to get revenge on Trick, or you have Frankie Kazarian or a heel from TNA cost Mike Santana the victory in this matchup.
Frankie Kazarian coming out to, and then what are we doing? Setting up. I feel like we just did this a version of this tag team match, but do Kazarian and Trick against Joe Hendry and Santana at
You did do exactly this matchup, except with Elijah instead
uh,
of Mike Santana.
do that at Against All Odds, and then I would have Santana beat Trick at Slammiversary at this point. I think that's the biggest
Yeah.
match they can do. I'm sorry to Joe Hendry. His time has come and gone, and they didn't do a whole lot with his run, but now it's Santana's time. And I think Santana and Trick is the biggest match you can do at Slammiversary and put the belt on Santana there.
Yeah, I agree with Zeno Hour. Like Santana just felt like he was ready for the big time. He felt like he belonged there so much.
Yeah, Joel and I said it on Monday. It's like Santana's gonna shine. He's gonna take this TV time and he is going to knock it out of the park. And he's gonna show why. Oh yeah, this is the guy that you should be building around. And that's exactly what happened last night. So him winning the title at Slammiversary is where I would go. Like, Sean Garner mentioning like they're wrestling for the title next week. Yeah, we think they're doing some screw finish next week because I don't think they're putting the belt on Santana that quickly or really taking it off Trick that quickly. And I think they'd be very foolish to beat Santana in any capacity, especially if the end game is to put the title on him. Look, maybe the end game isn't to put the title on him. Maybe it's to get the title back on Hendry. And in that case, I guess you can beat Santana, but that would be a TNA decision if they decided to go that route.
Or a WWE decision, since they have some type of control, I guess.
Well, I say it's a TNA decision because it's a bad decision, and that's a decision TNA would make.
Yeah. But I'm interested to see. I thought like the promo segment was really well done, where both guys came off like stars. I thought Trick, you could tell he's got some confidence behind him, and now he's fully embracing that he's the heel. Because it felt like a lot that Trick was more of a tweener on NXT TV and a heel on TNA TV. Last night, he came off like a certified heel, like talking trash to the fans, saying like, nah, y'all cheered for that average Joe. Don't cheer me. No more whoop that Trick for you. This felt like his first real heel promo as a main event talent here on this NXT brand. And he just felt like he got a boost in confidence after winning the TNA World Championship. I was very happy to see that. Loved Mike Santana's response, pointing out his little pretty boots, his high heels, and his tight jeans. Yo, Santana was ready for that moment. He knocked it out the park. Like I said, the matchup with Tavion Heights was really good. Tavion Heights is underrated. I think all four members of No Quarter Catch Crew are so underrated. Every time they get the opportunity to have like a spotlighted matchup, they always show out. I talked about my Miles Bourne had the best match of his career at Battleground with Obafemi. Charlie Dempsey is probably the most underrated in-ring wrestler and technician in NXT, maybe possibly WWE as a whole, outside of like Chad Gable and Tavion Heights. He just has so much potential to be a big star in the future. So I'm really looking forward to what he's going to get for him. And Ren Sinclair has just been improving and improving ever since the first time I ever saw her as Maddie Renkowski. She's gone such a long way, especially during her time in NXT, where she's put together like the character work so well. And I like the fact that they set up a big matchup between Miles and Charlie, the rounds matchup next week, which I think Miles Bourne's going to win, because I think they see a lot in Miles, and they're probably going to have to separate him from NQCC. I think NQCC is not long for this world anymore.
It does look like they're splitting away from that. So yeah, we'll see with Miles Bourne. And sorry, I was looking at this sort of breaking news here. John Laurinaitis has been dropped as a defendant in the Janelle Grant lawsuit. He has agreed to provide evidence in the lawsuit. The statement, this was given to Post Wrestling. John Laurinaitis has agreed to cooperate and provide evidence in Janelle Grant's lawsuit against Vince McMahon and WWE. His agreement to a confidential settlement is a pivotal next step towards holding McMahon and WWE accountable and bringing justice to Miss Grant after years of sexual abuse and trafficking. Mr. Laurinaitis looks forward to moving on with his life. We cannot provide any additional details at this time. So, there you go, everybody. John Laurinaitis, no longer part of the lawsuit. He's been dropped. He's providing evidence, and it seems like he is kind of turned against Vince and WWE with whatever evidence he is providing. So we will see how this kind of plays out in the future with the with what happens. You know, Vince and WWE are pushing it for it to be settled in a private matter and arbitration, and Janelle Grant and her team are obviously wanted to play out in court with everything. You know, the latest update before this was Janelle Grant's request to amend the lawsuit with the new details was approved, and she was able to get the lawsuit amended and able to use the new details in the lawsuit. And now the update is that Laurinaitis has agreed to give evidence to Grant's side against WWE and Vince McMahon. So
interesting.
It seems like a win for Janelle Grant's side on things. That Laurinaitis is gonna give up some details and some evidence there.
Snitching ain't easy. I mean, he turned on Vince McMahon. It's all coming down for you, Vince. So much for Jonathan Coachman's great reporting of Vince trying to buy back the company.
That's stupid. I'm not even going to acknowledge that. Not even going to acknowledge that. So we'll see. But again, that is the latest update on the Janelle Grant and Vince McMahon lawsuit. And we'll continue to keep fans updated as more comes out on things. Okay. Sorry for the left turn there. I was just catching up on that and saw that come across the timeline and was like, oh, that's pretty big news.
Yeah.
Don't know how I pivot away from that. And Ricky Saints lost the NXT North American title to Ethan Page. Big pivot there.
Love it.
This was almost more surprising than Jayne winning the North American title or the women's title. I was shocked that this happened.
I said, I got like tipped off by the messages in my in the group chat, because it was towards the end of NXT when I looked at the timestamp without going into the chat completely. So I was like, all right, something big happened in the main event. But then I was like, oh crap. As soon as I turned on NXT, I'm like, really? Ethan Page won the NXT North American champion? Like, Ricky just got here. Ricky just won the title in March. Like, what? What are we doing? I thought that was like, it was both weird, very surprising, but like I said, I said at the top of the show, the most noteworthy, newsworthy episode of NXT from the Performance Center ever, and a lot of that came down to that. And they had, in my opinion, a great match. They just went out there and brawled all over the place. It was stupid how many referees and security guards were trying to separate them when a freaking match is going on. But it felt like a wild, crazed brawl throughout the matchup, going around the ringside area, the commentary table, fighting into the crowd a bit, then getting pulled back in, and the chaos added to that big moment with the twisted grin on the steel chair where Ricky sold the crap out of that, spitting with the saliva coming out his mouth, choking. He turned bright red, and then I love how they still gave him a comeback. He kicked out of like the first move that Ethan Page did. He made his comeback. It looked like he was still gonna overcome and win, which I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then I was like, but not really, because I would have thought with that spot that Ethan Page was going to win, and then he flings the top rope into his throat and hits him with the second twisted grin. 1, 2, 3. Man, Ethan Page, he's made a great move going to NXT. They just love him there. Like, I thought that he was another guy that seemed like he was ready for the main roster call up. And don't get me wrong, I still think we still might see that pretty soon, because they haven't announced the WWE draft yet. And I think when they do announce it, I think he is going to go to the main roster, because they set him up for a big North American Championship matchup at Worlds Collide, which I don't know if he's going to make it out with the title, but it was a huge surprise on this show of Ethan Page getting the win over Ricky Saints, because Ricky's run just started, and that's his first loss in NXT.
Yeah, I was very stunned that they took the title off of Ricky this quickly. And even just to put it on Ethan Page, no knock on Ethan Page. I think he continues to do great work, but like, he's been NXT champion. It's not like a North American title run was almost necessary for him. And I see people mentioning Javon Evans, and it does feel like Javon Evans was next up on the North American title, and possibly even the NXT title, but they've sort of moved away from that from the time being. And it would make sense if Javon wins that 4-way match at Worlds Collide. I could definitely see that happening, especially pinning Ethan Page based on their history. So maybe that's the direction they go in. They're just going to put this North American title on Phoenix in that match and just let's go with the main roster guy. Ray Phoenix wins. So
it's like we got nothing better for him to do on SmackDown, guys. I'll have him win this North American Championship, please. Now, the person who would make the most sense is Javon Evans. I think I could definitely see Javon Evans winning the championship, because I was very confused on why he was on that Worlds Collide poster, because I was like, outside of Gable, a lot of these people have something in common that Javon Evans doesn't. But hey, Bowiqua. I've been at the parties and danced with the moms, and that would have been Javon Evans. But no, it's cool that he's got this big matchup. I like the intros for a Laredo Kid, and then also Ray Phoenix getting that huge pop from the PC crowd. So it's going to be a fun 4-way matchup, and Ethan Page can be the base for all these high-flying guys. But I would say, yeah, I want Javon Evans to be the one who comes out North American champion. You could run back maybe Javon and Ethan, and maybe they announce another date for the Atlanta run, the Atlanta takeover in July, and say Monday Night Raw is the draft. They can just add that to the list, or wherever Monday Night Raw is after Evolution and Saturday Night's Main Event and Great American Bash. They can make that show the WWE draft episode and bring up Ethan, bring up a Ricky Saints, even though I feel like Ricky should stay, because the women's division, they can survive putting their top 4 on the main roster. This men's division needs as much help as humanly possible. So let's keep Ricky there. Let's have Ricky become a contender for Obafemi in the NXT championship. Or should I say, the monster, the Reaper, LFG Season 1 winner, Jasper Troy, because my boy's winning the title. My boy's winning the title, Jeremy. All my hard work on this show, promoting LFG, it's all come to this. Jasper Troy is dethroning Obafemi. I can't wait, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait.
I don't know if he's dethroning Obafemi. But if it's not him, I don't know who it's going to be.
Do you have like a plane outside your house?
They're doing yard work is what's going on. Yeah.
I was like, that plane looks like it's coming. It sounds like it's coming into your bedroom. It sounds like it's about to fly in. Like, goddamn.
Sorry, they're out there doing yard work. So, apologies, everybody. I don't pick the times when they show up. They just show up. My bad, everybody. Go yell at them. Hey, trying to do a show.
Trying to do a show over here. Nah, but man, my boy, I'm so proud of Jasper Troy. Jasper Troy. He's the only one that can legitimately, like how they used to say about like Brock Lesnar, not a lot of people can like match up to him physically. That was the same thing with Obafemi. But Jasper Troy, that boy, he can match up. He can match up physically, intimidation wise, size, power, strength. Jasper Troy can match up with Obafemi.
I don't know if they're going with Jasper Troy. I don't know. I mean, it would lend some credence to LFG. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, okay, you're really doing something with LFG, but I don't know if they are gonna go with Jasper Troy off of this. But if not him, then I'm not sure who it's going to be. And maybe it won't be anybody anytime soon. What if it's Carmelo Hayes? He wins Money in the Bank, and he cashes in on Obafemi. Just spitballing ideas.
No,
I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I was like, man, what are we doing? Why do they always set up Carmelo Hayes to fail? He's always going up against these people that are like a foot taller than him. Like I like Jimmy McGrath makes the joke that like Triple H had never watched NXT and all he heard was Shawn Michaels boosting up Carmelo Hayes, and then he told, all right, Carmelo Hayes, we're gonna give him a big push, we're gonna make him the #1 draft pick for SmackDown, and then he saw Carmelo Hayes standing next to Cody Rhodes. He's like, well, bump that big push, I ain't doing that no more. Like, he's like, Cody Rhodes is not a big individual, yet he looks substantially taller than Carmelo Hayes. I don't understand why you would put the Money in the Bank on Carmelo Hayes and have him cash in on a guy who's even bigger than that in Obafemi. No.
How about Joe Hendry beats Obafemi for the NXT Championship?
I mean, they did tease that title match on the NXT after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He just lost the title.
They teased that title match, and then they were like, anyway, Joe Hendry's losing this TNA title to Trick Williams. Just so you can forget about him winning the NXT title. Yeah.
So much for that. Sorry, guys.
I don't know who dethrones Obafemi. Jasper Troy at least looks the part of like, all right, you know what? I can see this. But Tony D beat Obafemi for the North American title, so it's not like they can't tell a story. That
but Tony D is like a powerhouse. He's like a horse.
Tony D's a big dude. Yeah, he is. Yeah. The lawn mowing is getting very loud as they get closer to the house. Again, apologize.
They sound like they're like lawn mowing your bedroom or the room you're in.
They're really close. I mean, you know, it's out. They're just mowing out back there, and we got grass coming up close to the house, so they got to get pretty close there. So there you go. All right, what else? Again, apologies everybody. The lawn mowing is going on right now.
I did say that. I said what Malav said. It sounds like a plane is landing right into your room. I
can't control when they show up. If I could, I would tell them, hey, between 10 and 12 every weekday, you can't be out here. I got a show to do. Respect the art of professional wrestling and podcasting. Like, we don't give a shit about that. We got this grass to tend to. Like, all right, fair, fine. What else happened on NXT? Anything that we've missed here?
Well, we touched on the major points of the show. Jasper Troy getting the win, which is the most important thing that happened on last night's show. Forget what anybody else says. It's not about the new North American champion. It's not about the new NXT Women's Champion. It's about Jasper Troy, the monster, the Reaper, getting the job done. This man's the real deal. He's gonna dig some holes and he's gonna put some people in the grave. Oh, baby.
Please,
the fact that the crowd does that now is hilarious. That popped me so much on Battleground that the crowd goes when she does the devil's kiss. Oh, so good. So good. I love it. I love it every time. I don't care what anybody says. Thea Hale with her one-eye Thea Hale. She got into a brawl with Jada Parker. Jada Parker picked up a win over Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley was comforted by Sol Ruka and Zarya backstage while the culling were in the background. What is the point of the culling? Could someone tell me? I don't get it. I don't get what the point of the culling is. The culling is the worst stable in wrestling. I want y'all to argue with me. It's the worst stable in professional wrestling today.
I disagree. And I will tell you who it actually is. Dark State.
No, Dark State has a point. It has a point. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because
they're terrible at making their point.
You know why they have a point? Because Saquon Sugars gets promo time. That's all I need. Saquon Sugars is the man. He is awesome. I don't care what anybody says. Saquon Sugars. And they got LFG Star, the upper Cutler James. So I'm a fan of them. And they got Booksmart. Booksmart. Let me put my glasses on. Let me take my glasses off. Get hyped. I'm now a monster. Dion Lennox. And then the other guy. You're Osiris Griffin. Osiris Griffin, yeah.
I actually don't mind Dark State, but they've cooled off so much since their debut.
Yeah.
I didn't mind. Like, I liked them at first. Like, you know what? They do have a point. And
I hated them at first, actually. I felt like they were too much trying to be Retribution meets the Shield.
Yeah.
That I couldn't get. And then I hated the music being played as they beat people down and all the lights. It felt like I was having like an epilepsy. I was just like, oh my God. I'm like,
but
too much going on.
I like that they had a point of we're going after the champions and we're going after guys who we think we should be in their spot. Like, okay, you can argue about the presentation. Like, I completely understand that. I was like, you know what? You guys you're trying to go after the top guys. I respect that. Now it's just like, what are you doing? Why aren't you going after Oba? Why aren't you going after Siobhan? Why aren't you going after Trick? Like, where did that lead to? What did that actually go to? You know, like they did the 6-man, and then that was it. It's like, all right, I guess we're done with these guys now, even though they're still champions and in top spots. We're not going to deal with them anymore.
Remember, they beat Hank and Tank in the 6-man tag with Joe Hendry like a couple of weeks ago, and then they just never got an opportunity. They let the culling take their spot at Battleground and stuff like that, and now they're being given freaking matches by Ava. Like, they had seemed like an outlier of if they attack somebody, then Ava gives them a matchup. But apparently they had a match scheduled and they didn't have an opponent until the nerds from Chase U basically were like, hey, we want a match too. Andre Chase told us to ask for an opportunity and take risks, so we're gonna have a matchup. And she was like, yeah, you can verse Dark State. Okay.
Uh, Dark State ain't. I wish better for them. I'm with you on the calling as well, though. Like they ain't doing a whole lot. They're Sean Spears just chilling, making good money, acting like. Remember, the funniest thing is they did that whole Brooks Jensen storyline, and he's like, oh, he's an addict and he's drinking too much and oh, he's causing chaos at the live events. He's showing up with like Brett with Book Better, and we gotta have an intervention for this guy. And it's just he's paired with Sean Spears now. People were like legitimately worried about Brooks Jensen. Like, is his contract's up? Like, what's going on here? Like, they actually did a good job with that story, and the payoff was to just be paired with Sean Spears and do nothing. That's
nothing at all.
That was the whole payoff to it.
And then they did the whole thing with Josh Briggs and Inamura just to bring back Inamura. It was like, no, you know what? We still want you. Yeah, you froze with a big smile on your face, which looked good. It was like good frame picture of you like smiling. It was very nice. Inamura coming back. I feel like I was like, so we're going in reverse. So nothing that's happened in the last couple of weeks has mattered with Josh Briggs, basically.
Yeah.
I agree with Christopher in the chat. Like, the Sean Spears should not have a stable. I agree.
Well, he says not stable.
My bad. That either. And MCAS, you're lucky I don't have control because you would be on timeout. I have a life. My life is about watching all these wrestling, so you don't have to. That's my life. That's my life, and I have 2 kids, and I have a wife, and I have 2-3 jobs outside of being here. I have a YouTube channel that I have to run. I watch PowerBook 3 Raising Kanan. Check out my reviews over on True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment. Watch basketball. I watch a whole bunch of things, and I talk about it for a living. That's my life, and my kids. My kids is the most important thing. That's what my life consists of. Is them waking me up and making me do things. My daughter's saying, "Get me a drink." My son's like no, my son just wants to like toys and to read a book. He's so chill. I love it. I couldn't have 2 kids like Harlem. I'm sorry. I love Harlem, but I couldn't have 2 kids like her.
I'll put him cats in timeout.
Yeah, you're going in timeout, sir. You're in timeout. Show some respect.
You can't say SB2 doesn't have a life. And you should be appreciative that he does dedicate a portion of
exactly
to these shows. I think MCAS is just messing around, but
I know.
Sometimes
MCAS is always a supporter, so that's why I said timeout. I didn't say ban him.
But that's fine. You know, I put timeout. I put people in timeout for much worse. You know what I mean? Like, much more joking comments than that. You know, like I have less of a life than you, SB3. I got way less of a life.
Yeah, you're always writing. Always right. Sometimes I click on Fightful articles thinking that I'm not going to see it's Jeremy. Now, lately, I've been seeing more Andrew Thompson.
The GOAT is back.
Yeah. Shout out to the GOAT. Especially when I see like a New Japan, always I used to be like, how does Jeremy know what's going on? How is he up right now while I'm up watching New Japan with my kids in a 5-hour difference where I'm 5 hours ahead of you? Why is he reporting about New Japan? Now I'm seeing that is usually Andrew Thompson. So I'm like, hey.
Andrew allows me to sleep a little bit. It's very nice. I appreciate that the GOAT is back, and between us, I mean, everybody else just got to catch up. You know what I mean? Like, we're just all these other websites, they just got to catch up because between us, we get a lot of work done. So I'm glad.
I appreciate y'all.
Glad he is back. All right. Anything else from NXT?
I think that is everything from NXT. Release everything that I can remember from NXT. I'm trying to think of for anything. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I am gonna hit up. I hit up Andrew a couple of weeks ago when you first told me he was coming on board and wished him congratulations. But I meant to also invite him back on THH. We always love having Andrew on. Andrew was part of one of my favorite episodes of THH when the first time we ever called Booker T Uncle Tom. That was great stuff. He was a part of that episode. Great times.
So we had some news yesterday. As we all saw, Double or Nothing. Everyone watched it. Everyone stayed up until 12:30 to watch that show, right? Right.
Yes, yes.
We saw Will Ospreay and Hangman Page in the main event. I'm gonna wait for that to go away before I read this.
Because then it's gonna be like, how are you gonna get rid of that sound?
Yeah.
When you try to make it into a short.
I'm gonna have to clip up this short enough as it is because like it's a long report, and so I gotta chop that portion of it up. But yeah, I don't want to have a mower sound in the background while I'm trying to do that either. So
well, we could talk about the other report, the not as important report, in the meantime, where I could quickly rant about why are we still making the same complaint? Because I'll give some background because I do admit I went in on somebody on True Hill Heat. We did a Saturday Night's Main Event review where the main kind of complaint or criticism about Saturday Night's Main Event was commercials. And someone said in the chat, like, why are people complaining about commercials? It's always like that on NBC. No, it's that this Saturday Night's Main Event was an egregious amount of commercials. Like, it was an invasive amount of commercials on this Saturday Night's Main Event. So that is why it was a legitimate criticism of that. Double or Nothing was not even the longest AEW pay-per-view that I ever remember watching. Like, the fact that we are still getting now 3 years in after, like, excuse me, I will say once again, the longest AEW pay-per-view ever is Double or Nothing 2022. That was Tony Khan on. He had to be on some crazy. I'm giving you as much wrestling as possible. That was the 15 match one that he delayed.
He delayed because of the basketball game.
Yeah, because of the Heat versus Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. So he wanted to make that pay-per-view as long as possible so people would watch the show, the main event of Punk and Hangman. This wasn't even the longest one. The fact that they had to be a report about it, like, I mean, I understand, Cam. He says not even the longest. That don't mean it ain't long as hell. No, I'm not saying it's not long. It's definitely a long pay-per-view. But it's not even the longest. So why are we still making that a report? I understand if people like I saw Eric Stevens on Twitter. It was like, I'm an old man. That pay-per-view is too long for me. No issue there. If it's too long for you, 100% agree. You can watch what you need to watch, go to sleep, and then wake up and watch the rest in the morning. The fact that we have people making reports about it and trying to throw people under the bus within the company by saying everybody thinks, well, let me go take that back. Not everybody, but it was Brian Alvarez of Wrestling Observer on Wrestling Observer Live who said that he heard from a lot of people backstage in AEW that the show was too long, and that the only people that think that the show isn't too long is Tony and a couple of the sickos out there that would watch the show if it was 9 hours long. So I don't understand why this is a report. That's my issue. Why is this a report? Yes, the show is long. It's very long, but I don't understand why we are reporting about it and throwing people under the bus within the company. I don't understand that. That's just me. It's me as a fan. It's not me as a person who does content creation. Because if it was 5 hours, it was 6 hours, I would still watch it because I have to talk about it on this show. I have to talk about it on True Hill Heat. I have to write about it. I would still watch it. I'm not a part of this, honestly, this conversation. I'm not talking about it from a strictly fan perspective. But I understand their part of it where they've already said multiple times they're trying to give you more bang for your buck. They're trying to make this as much worth of your money as possible because a lot of people are paying $50, even though it's £20 on Amazon Prime, which is, I think this is the route to go when you're doing this many pay-per-views. £20, that's not bad. But Go ahead. No, damn it. I took too long. It sounded lower before, and now I hear it again, but it's not as bad as before. So go ahead.
That's fine. I won't go into the report on Ospreay and Hangman just yet. I'll just say what I've always said with these shows. I don't care how long it is. Just start it earlier. If this show starts at 7 and ends at 11:30, I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine with that. I do think, and Henry mentions it, All In, make that a 48-hour event. Counter Evolution with just the longest program of all time. It just keeps going. It never stops. That's what should happen. Started at 3. You say, tell Great American Bash, all right, you want to run against it? All right, fine. We're going to run all night into Goldberg's retirement match. And then tomorrow, we're going to still be going, and you're going to be running Evolution, and we're going to be running our shit as well. Yeah, throw in the Casino Gauntlet. That match can go as long as it needs to. Have that thing just go forever. Do a Stadium Stampede. Have that thing go forever. That's what they should do with All In. Just a 48-hour event. Counter Monday Night Raw the following night as well. That'll piss some people off. The event's too long. Yeah, 48 hours. You want to complain about long events? I'll give you a damn long event. Take that.
That's Tony Khan putting his dick on the table.
They want to fight forever. Okay. We will too.
He won't fight forever.
They chant fight forever, and then the match ends 10 minutes later. They ain't fighting forever. We'll give them a real fight forever. That's what we're doing.
I love you. I love you too, MCATs. Like I said, we me and Jeremy, we put people on timeout for lesser reasons.
It's a badge of honor to be put on timeout around here, you know?
Yeah. Power driver finisher who just commented under you. He's one where we infamously he spent like 10 minutes of a show trying to figure out how to unblock somebody.
Yeah. I felt so bad. Bad.
And to answer the question, a part of your comment, MCAS, I'll read out your comment. He said, literally 1 second before being timed out, I wrote, I love you, SP3, and I appreciate all the hard work you put into your content you provide us. I just wonder, when do you sleep? And props for being a family man. That's the best thing. I 100% agree with you on that last part. And when do I sleep? What is sleep?
Yeah.
That is my answer.
We don't sleep around here. No sleep. No sleep until 48-hour All In.
Don't joke around with this. Anytime you start joking about a whole day of wrestling, I have PTSD of WrestleMania week. WrestleMania week, that was way too much for me.
I'm gonna tag Tony Khan on this tweet. He doesn't respond to any of my Jack Harlow tweets because he's a coward. But well, hold on. I gotta find the report. Wrestle Talk wrote it up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They did a tweet about it, I'm sure. I got a quote tweet, one of these. Somebody point me in the direction of one of these friggin' engagement accounts. No offense to Wrestle Talk. Tweeting about the length of these shows so I can quote tweet it. Okay, Cultaholic. All right, Cultaholic is getting the quote tweet treatment here. Theirs isn't even that doesn't have too much engagement on it. I need one that's like, did some numbers here. You know what I mean? I got to mooch off of something that did some numbers.
Oh man, whenever I do that, man, I get some good engagement. I even get some people that I subsequently mute or block on the channel.
Did brain damage, drain damage, whatever his name is,
Dreamager. That's my guy, man. He be quoting my articles on SI.
Drain.
So what are you looking for? What are you looking for? Okay. Which one are you looking for?
He's gotten
too
better.
Long?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's PW Insider. Okay, here's Yeah, he's got some engagement account on this. All right, here we go. All right, hold on. Fight back at Tony Khan. Make AEW All In a 48-hour show to counter Saturday Night's Main Event and Evolution 2. There. I'll appeal to Tony.
Appeal to him.
Yeah, Tony will do it. Tony's like, wait a second, a 48-hour wrestling show? This sounds great.
He's like, now you're talking my language.
Tony listens to some of my ideas, only t-shirt related, but that's about it. All right, here's the report. Now that the lawn mowing appears to be done for the time being. So, Fightful Select had reported throughout the last number of weeks that AEW and Tony Khan had kept the results of Ospreay and Hangman solidly under wraps. This included the performers themselves. Well, it's been reported that they found out the day of the show. It was indicated to Fightful by those in the know that it was actually earlier in the weekend that Hangman and Ospreay found out. An interesting element to the story was that Hangman Page actually pushed for Will Ospreay to win, while Will Ospreay pushed for Hangman Page to win. Those that we spoke to said that Tony Khan was even non-committal throughout the process when talent would ask him who won. The feeling backstage was that of shock as most everyone believed Will Ospreay would end up winning the match. We've also heard in the past week, Jon Moxley leaned towards wanting Hangman Page to win the match as well. Whether or not that had any bearing on the actual match, we don't know. As one would expect, the match was received incredibly well backstage, and we are told the general feeling about the event was overwhelmingly positive. What has happened to the sport that we love? That these winners are fighting to lose. What has happened to this sport? Hulk Hogan is rolling in his grave. He's not rolling over because he refuses to go to put anyone over but himself.
Yeah, he would never lay on his back.
Yeah. He's rolling in his grave at these reports. You want to lose the match? You don't want to headline the biggest show of the year against Jon Moxley? What? Huh? What is happening around this? Here's my theory. SP3. They know they're losing to Jon Moxley. And they are like,
I'd much rather lose to you than him.
They know Moxley's keeping that title because it's going to Darby.
It's like, you want to get choked out in Texas? No, you go ahead. After you. It's like, no. I insist. After you.
This is the only logical explanation for why these men don't want to win what they are calling the biggest match of their career and one of the most important matches in AEW history. They're like, no, I don't want to win that match. What are you doing? What do you mean you don't want to win that match?
Well, it's also two men that had very famous big time matches with the most unselfish man in pro wrestling history, Bryan Danielson. And Bryan Danielson is a sickness that's been spreading throughout AEW. Will did this last year. Remember, Will was the one who volunteered to put over Swerve Strickland at Forbidden Door and solidify him as the AEW World Champion. And also, Will, I have it on good authority, and by good authority is spelled SAT. That Will is very insistent on not winning the World Championship quite yet. He's only been in AEW for about 18 months. And he really, like, back in like last year when he didn't win the World Championship, and then he before that he won the International Championship. I was told way before Will had even arrived in AEW at the start of 2024, that he was really insistent on going for the international championship and building that title up and making that title feel important. And I think that he was able to accomplish that through the rivalry with MJF and all the great matches that he had throughout the year as well. And I think that he's very insistent on putting over the people that he needs to put over. And that's why a lot of his jobs have been to the established upper echelon of main event stars that have been created in AEW, like your Hangman Page, like your MJFs, like your Swerve Strickland, and putting over people that he wants to see as one of those homegrown top stars in the future, like a Kyle Fletcher or a Konosuke Takeshita. I think that Will is about building up AEW, like we talked about and you talked about with that great tweet that you put out there. Will has become like the brand ambassador for AEW. So I think that he is very focused on building up the company and making it as big as possible. But I think that when Tony Khan needs to put his foot down is Wembley Stadium next year. That's the time. That's the time. That's why when I went into Double or Nothing, we had this whole discussion last Thursday where I was like, yo, Will should win. Will's the top guy right now. He's the hot star. He should win. But I was not upset at all when Hangman Adam Page won, because Hangman has probably a better story right now. The redemption arc is right up there. I would say 1A ahead of the MJF and Hurt Syndicate storyline as the top story, the best story going on in AEW. And Will's time is not. I was like saying Will's gonna win, and I wanted Will to win at All In, but it would have not felt as big as Will winning in Wembley Stadium. Will winning in Wembley Stadium, that's just writes itself. That's the whole reason Will wanted a matchup at Forbidden Door last year, right before Wembley. So that option was kind of taken out of the fans' mind. And I think that that's the reason why it was the right decision to give the win in the Owen Hart Cup to Hangman Page this year, because Will's time to win on a big stage is All In 2026 in Wembley Stadium.
Will Ospreay is not going to win at All In 2026 in Wembley Stadium. He's gonna go there. He's gonna be like, you know what, bruv? I don't think I should win this match. I know it's a big moment, but I feel Chris Jericho should keep the title.
No, you know what you should have. You missed a great opportunity to be like, no, I think Jack Perry should keep the title. I think
Chris Jericho is way funnier. Chris Jericho is way better. The fact that Chris Jericho would be the champion, way better. Jack Perry, because people would expect me to say Jack Perry. And like,
yes,
Jack
exactly.
Perry, Jack Perry, not to say like it's that would upset people if it was Jack Perry, but maybe people can talk, you know what, sure, Jack Perry hasn't had the title, like, yeah, fine. Jack Perry can be the champion, but Chris Jericho, dude, if Chris Jericho wins the title between now and next year, they're going to riot in AEW. Yeah. So Chris Jericho was thank you, Paul Jar Finisher, for confirming what I already knew. Chris Jericho. Imagine if Chris Jericho would not take this shit, by the way. Chris Jericho would be in there and be like, yeah, I should win. Hold on.
Yeah, of course.
I think you're pushing for Ospreay? No. I should definitely win this match. Ospreay is like, yeah, Chris should win. Jericho's like, thank you. I agree. I should win.
Tony probably went to Chris, be like, who do you think should win between Hangman and Ospreay? Me. I should win.
What if I return?
You're not in the match, Chris.
What if I return? This is how I make my return right here. We need a Canadian in the Owen Hart tournament. I make my return and I win the Owen tournament. After Hangman beats Ospreay, I come back and I say, by order of Martha Hart, I have been added to this tournament. And I'm in the finals against Hangman Page. And I beat Hangman right now. And I win. What a pitch Chris Jericho could make. That should have happened. Should have happened. Chris Jericho's a coward for not doing it.
ridiculous.
Why are these guys fighting to lose? Don't do that.
I respect it.
They
I
put the
respect
company
it.
first. They're great company
Yes.
guys.
Yes. I don't understand why Hangman was saying Will should win. No, I do understand because Will is the best in the world. He's been such a great company ambassador. But yeah, it's about damn time that Hangman gets back to the top because it felt like he wouldn't. It felt for a long time that he wouldn't get back to the top, that he would always have someone else that would kind of skip over him. So this feels like the right time for Hangman to get that top spot again and be a main event star and get back and reach the mountaintop once again. But I also understand why he would be like, no, it should be Will. I respect it because times are different. It's not the 80s. It's not the 90s. It's not, we don't have a whole bunch of Shawn Michaelses around and Hulk Hogan's around. Yeah, I love the Mamba mentality. Yeah, Kobe Bryant was my favorite basketball player of all time, but the wrestling business is a little bit different than sports, in my opinion. It's a little bit different. It's entertainment. It's about making the right choice at the right time. So I can respect if two guys are trying to kind of like, no, you win. No, you win. No, you win. All friends wrestling. You can call it all that. You can make all the jokes that you want. But I think that it shows that both guys are focused on the growth of the company more than the growth of their own careers, which is something that I can always respect. It's a level of selflessness that we don't usually see in professional wrestling.
Back in my day, they brought guns to the arena and knives. And if people were refusing to go over, we taped our fist up to ensure that they would drop the title to Steve Austin at WrestleMania.
Just in case.
I'm just picturing like the triple threat at WrestleMania and Punk and Roman and Rollins going in there and pitching for the other people to win. Like Punk's like, oh yeah, Seth should definitely win this match. He's been a great company guy, and he should go over. This would be great. Roman's like, I think Punk should win the match. You know, he hasn't been around.
No, Roman was like, either one of them can win. I'm not going to be here.
Roman still would pitch for himself to win. He'd still pitch for himself. Just imagine these dudes like pitching for somebody else to win.
No, you know what Roman's gonna say. Roman's gonna be like, they asked Roman, who should win, you, Punk, or Seth? Well, I'm not gonna be here, so I don't think me. I think Jey Uso should win, or Jacob Fatu, or Jimmy Uso,
Roman's
or Zilla Fatu. Oh, he's not signed. Well, he can win anyway. Someone from my family should win. Roman does do that. Roman will advocate for his family. I know that for a fact.
Roman wouldn't advocate for Jay to get the main event. He's like, yeah, I'm in the main event, dude.
He won't go that far.
I'm still in the main event. Just advocate for yourself, folks. On a serious level, I do respect that Hangman and Will Ospreay want to put the company first. And I don't think you could go wrong with either guy. I think there's a story to be told with both guys, and that's why the result of that match was so compelling, because it's like both guys make sense, and going into All In, you could see either of them challenging for the title. I said beforehand, I thought the Hangman story was better. I thought he should win. I was happy that he did. I would have been fine with Ospreay. I don't mind that both guys are going in there and being like, you know what, this guy should win. But this Bryan Danielson derangement syndrome's got to end. I love Bryan Danielson. That's the GOAT right there. But if we should take a lot from Bryan Danielson, advocating for people to beat you is not one thing you should take from him. Sometimes you just got to win these matches. Otherwise, you just keep coming off like a giant old loser. Sometimes you just got to win.
You gotta bully people into winning world championships like Tony did to Bryan.
They were never gonna put the world title on that guy until Tony Khan finally said, "No, you gotta win this world title."
He had a gun to his back, like, go out there to Final Countdown and win the world title, sir. He had to threaten his life.
Swerve had to go into business for himself and make sure he didn't kick out.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not allowing you to get off of me for a pin. I'm just tapping out. I'm tapping out.
Just advocate for yourself. Go over. You know, John Moxley's going in there. He's like, yeah, I should win and All In. I should hold this title for another year.
Well, like you said in the report, he apparently pushed for Hangman to get the win because he's like, I already jobbed to Hangman a couple of times before. I don't mind jobbing to him again, but Will, nah. I haven't. He hasn't beaten me yet, so I'm not okay with facing him at all.
Will Ospreay talks about, I love Edge. I love Cope. Learned a lot from Cope. Clearly, you didn't learn enough from Cope, Will. What would Cope do? He would not go in there and say, yeah, this guy should beat me. Cope would be like, I should win. Should win the title as well. Oh, you want me to lose? What if I do like a pass out angle instead of, tapping out? What if we have a bunch of interference to make sure that's how I lose? What if we do that instead? Cowardly.
Maybe.
Selfish advocating for yourself and not for somebody else.
I love when Bryan Danielson is an influence upon the AEW locker room. He's spreading the joy. He's spreading the love. That's why he's going to be the future head of creative for AEW.
Oh, he'd probably have good ideas. He should give me the ROH pencil, though, if nothing else.
Oh, God, man. I'm sick of this.
I'm taking you with me on this ROH journey, SB3.
Oh, okay. You're listening to my suggestions.
I'm not leaving you behind on this.
Right.
Come on now.
Okay.
Come on now. No. Like you're basically gonna be my Bryan Danielson. I'm Tony Khan. You're gonna be my Bryan Danielson. But don't have these people advocating for themselves to win, though, or else you will get fired. I will not stand for that.
I'm going to be advocating selflessness. It's like we're going to follow the book of Bryan Danielson.
I will not stand for that. I'm going to run a story where everybody advocates to just win. And then that's way too Russo. Of like, I'm going over,
too meta.
Brother.
Too meta.
That's way too meta. Yeah, I'm not doing that at all. Sammy Guevara will not be the next world champion unless he burns the suit. If he burns the suit, he's got a shot. But he ain't being. He's not the world champion. Sorry. I don't even dislike Sammy Guevara. Like, he's fine.
He just dislikes the suit.
That suit. Yeah, I dislike the suit. I don't like his music either. His WWE ass music with Sammy Guevara. It's my time to shine.
Hey,
and
I'm a fan of Montezzi, so I do like the song. But
it's not a bad song, honestly.
Not necessarily for Sammy. I will say that.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the song. The Sammy Guevara pops me every time. I'm like, yeah, all right. Then he comes out with the suit, though. God, I hate that thing. I will put Sammy back in the panda costume. That's way better than the suit. Way better. Just have him. I'm gonna have Sammy Guevara. He's gonna burn the suit, and he's gonna go out into the forest and be one with the pandas. He's gonna become a panda, and that's how he gets the panda costume back. Because the pandas are gonna be very upset that he's trying to wear it. We're gonna get live pandas for this show. And Sammy's just going to burn the suit and he's going to come out with the panda costume again. But then a panda is going to confront Sammy and be like, you can't just put that back on. You turned against us. You wore a suit. You were out here cosplaying as a used car salesman. You aren't just going to put that panda hat back on. And Sammy's got to earn his panda hat back.
They're like, we don't accept you anymore in the panda community.
Live pandas on Ring of Hallucinations.
Sammy versus Pandas. That's a money matchup right
draw.
there.
Are you kidding me?
That would draw.
That would 100% draw. You talk about 100 people versus a gorilla. We got Sammy Guevara versus a panda bear. Yeah, we got this. Don't worry, everybody.
That's what he's like. And there's a chance that Sammy doesn't survive this. Sign me up.
That designer song was good. I don't know if he had any other songs. Like, did he have another hit? I don't know.
Who?
But that song was good.
Oh, well. A designer. Oh yeah, I remember.
You don't remember that song?
Now I do.
That's like legitimately his only good song. I mean, maybe there's other good songs, but that's the only song that anybody ever remembers was that song. I did that at karaoke one time. An endangered species match. Sammy Guevara against the panda. The panda's going to rip the suit off of him. And that's how.
Oh, it should be a tuxedo match.
I don't know how. A panda in a suit? Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, the panda would go into business for himself. The panda would be like, I ain't wearing this suit. That's against my culture. I'm not putting this suit on. You're going to come out here and you're going to dress me up in a suit? Absolutely not. I don't think a panda would do it. Panda's got, two worker for that.
True. He's like, I gotta wear tights. I gotta wear knee pads. He's a professional. So
Dustin Rhodes is going to be very conflicted over does he want to side with the panda or Sammy Guevara.
He's special guest referee.
I don't want to use Dustin Rhodes more than I have to. He's already got 2 titles right now. I gotta get both those titles off of him first.
Do that immediately. First day on the job, be like, yeah, we're going to job Dustin. Him and the Von Erichs losing the Trios Championship, and then immediately after, MXM Collection cashes in the Hallucination in the Bank, and they win the tag team titles.
I'm gonna have Dustin be the belt collector. He's gonna be my Kenny Omega. He's gonna win the PWG.
Don't do this to me.
He's gonna win the PWG World Title and have that belt as well. He's gonna win one of the CMLL titles. He's gonna have that belt, but it's all gonna be like tag team belts. He's gonna have all these tag team belts as the belt collector, and with all different partners. So it's gonna be Dustin with like 10 belts, and then he's got 10 partners around him as well. Sister Wives, Dustin Rhodes is what I'm running here. Sister belts, Dustin Rhodes.
I am over this. I do not want to see any of this. Why is Dustin Rhodes?
I've got a good use for
star?
Dustin Rhodes now. I have a good use for Dustin Rhodes. He's never going to defend him because he doesn't defend him anyway. Come on, this is way better than him being on AEW TV and cutting the same promo he cut.
Yeah, as long as it keeps him off of AEW TV, you're right.
No. Everybody in Ring of Hallucinations is Ring of Hallucinations exclusive. I don't want them on AEW TV because Tony's just gonna beat them, and I will not have my talent get jobbed out like that. So no, it ain't happening. If they're on ROH, they're on ROH. You'll not see them. And if he wants to call them up and make them a full-time AEW, fine, we can do that. But I will not have, we're going to beat somebody on AEW TV. Here, go back to ROH. No. We don't want them back. They either stay up or AEW, ANW. They either stay up in AEW. That's where Danhausen's going to be. I think he did that skit before, but that's where Danhausen's going to be. We're bringing back Danhausen. We got to run Detective Danhausen. But you either keep them in AEW or you find something else for them to do. But don't bring them up to AEW and then try to send them back to ROH as a giant loser. We ain't doing that. Get out of here. Get out of here. Having it. All right.
This sounds like fun. This sounds like
Evolve crowns a women's champion tonight, SP3. I know you're excited.
I am, because I gotta go with the best spear in the game, Kendall Gray. Kendall Gray is gonna win it. Even though I really feel like 3 out of the 4 options, I wouldn't mind any of them winning, because you got Callie Armstrong, who I call Bianca Jazz or Jazz Belair, however you want to call it. She's a mixture of Jazz and Bianca Belair. She's very talented. Wouldn't mind her winning the championship. Kylie Ray, of course, is like the most veteran, the most experienced of any of the
She's a
WWE
giant
ID.
loser.
She's won 1 match, though. She's
Yeah.
won 1 match in Evolve. It would make sense why they would just put the title on her, because she has the most experience out of everybody. Wendy Chu, she's been undefeated on Evolve. That's all I will say. I won't say my opinion on why I don't think she should win. But Kendall Gray, she's got the athletic background, amateur wrestler, the best spear in the game, suplex for days. Kendall Gray should be the first ever Evolve Women's Champion.
We shall see. That's obviously the most important thing happening tonight. You know,
we got the post Double or Nothing Dynamite tonight. Only 3 things announced, though.
Yeah, Tony's gonna announce everything at like 5:00.
He is. Yeah. Well, we do know we're gonna see Josh Alexander versus Brody King in the first eliminator matchup ahead of the 4-way international title match next week on Dynamite. That should be really good. Their match on Collision a couple of weeks back was really damn good.
Why is this called a tournament?
I think it's called an eliminator. Is it called a tournament? I don't know.
Yeah, they're calling it a tournament.
I don't think it's a tournament. When the finals is a 4-way, it's not a tournament. It's just qualifying matches for the 4-way.
Yeah, and when you only have to win 1 match to get to the final, like that doesn't count as a tournament to me either. Like,
agreed.
You just
agreed.
It's just an eliminator. I like eliminator, but they have brackets set up like it's a tournament. It's like, oh, look at these brackets.
Yeah, it's kind of goofy. But yeah, that should be a really good matchup. We're also going to hear from Hangman Adam Page following winning the Owen Hart Cup at Double or Nothing.
He's going to come out and be like, I tried to lose to Will Ospreay, but Tony told me I couldn't.
He forced me, guys. He forced me.
I didn't want to win. I know it was part of my redemption and I needed to win to redeem myself, but I didn't want to win this match. I'm actually ashamed that I lost this match.
I swear to you guys, I didn't want to win. And then what I think should be the main event segment, but it probably won't because it's the woman. But Mercedes Moné meeting Timeless Toni Storm tonight on Dynamite.
I love
like they never met each other.
Yeah, I love that Toni Storm acts like she's never met Mercedes. They had a face-off. I mean, it was Tony was in the balcony and Mercedes was.
They've never actually met. Like that's like being at the same party as someone you're eventually married. You never really met them or anything yet. You can't consider that y'all first meeting. Y'all were at the same place at the same time, but y'all didn't actually meet each other.
Fair. I do like that. Tony's like, I've never met her. I can't wait to actually meet her. Do a handshake and everything. Like, nice to meet you. I've heard good things about you. I've seen good things about you. I like the little dance that you do. Maybe you can teach me how to dance.
She's gonna do it. You know she's gonna do
it. When she was doing her rave to Jamie Hayter's music the other week. Oh man, I want her to do the CEO.
Even her doing the little dance to Mita's new song.
I want to see her do the CEO dance so bad. That's the only thing I care about on tonight's show is if her doing the CEO dance. Don't care about anything else that happens on tonight's show. I'm sure they'll add like an all-star tag team match in the next few hours. Hook. Get ready to hear from Hook. That'll be added. I'm trying to think what else. They'll add a women's match. Who can wrestle on the women's? Sky Blue and Julia Hart against Anna Jay and Harley Cameron. That's going to be added just for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, don't expect anyone from Anarchy in the Arena or the main event to fight to wrestle on tonight's show.
I don't know. They might do an all-star tag with some.
I don't think the Bucks are wrestling on tonight's show. I think out of everyone on the heel team, maybe Claudio and Wheeler, maybe.
Claudio's wrestling on Saturday, which is taped today.
Okay, so he's not going to be wrestling on tonight's show.
Yeah.
On the babyface, Mark Briscoe should not be wrestling on tonight's show.
No.
Maybe Ricochet. Maybe.
I don't know if he should be wrestling either. You got to sell the impact of these matches a little bit.
I agree.
Yeah. Gabe Kidd might just have a match. Tonight would be the night I'd debut Thekla. Yeah, I'd have her come out at some point. Maybe after they do a women's match, like they might just add like Mina against somebody.
Mina versus Sky Blue, because Sky Blue attacked her last week.
Okay, all right, see that. Yeah.
And then Thekla attacks Mina post match.
Yeah, could see that. All right, we'll see what happens on Dynamite.
We booked the show, guys. You're welcome, Tony.
I won't be watching. There's more important things on than AEW Dynamite.
Give me Roddy Strong versus Konosuke Takeshita tonight.
That's a good match. That's a good match right there. I was thinking about if they would do like a tag team match, Strong and O'Reilly against two members of the Don Callis family. I guess it would have to be. I mean, it could be like Archer if they want someone to take a loss,
to lose.
Yeah, since Alexander's facing Brody, he couldn't be in the match. They could do Archer and Takeshita, or Archer and Fletcher, or Takeshita and Fletcher against them. Could possibly see that, but I do like Roddy against Takeshita, or I'd take O'Reilly against Takeshita. Either one.
Hey. Yeah.
Just more Takeshita. We both have called him the greatest wrestler in the world. Oh.
Congratulations to him. Well, it's been something that's kind of been a rumor for months, but it's something that he publicly has made known. Happy for him and Yuka Sakazaki announcing their marriage together with a good post on social media. And I loved Kyle Fletcher's response to it and then Yuka responding to him like, "We are rival."
Yeah. Yeah, Fletcher and Yuka is the match to make.
Tonight on Dynamite, Yuka Sakazaki one-on-one with Kyle Fletcher. Winner gets the hand in marriage of Konosuke Takeshita.
They're gonna do a can they coexist match. It's Takeshita and Sky Blue against Yuka and Fletcher.
Wife swap match. A wife swap match.
Good on Takeshita and Yuka Sakazaki. As long as they're happy, that's all that matters. Yeah. That's all that matters.
We love here.
We do. I'm sure we'll get something. Oh, I messaged in our. I don't think you messaged. You responded back, but did you see this 90-day looking for love? It's on Max.
Yes. I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. Oh my god, I'm hyped. It's Love Island for 90 Day Fiance.
So we saw it because we have Max on fairly regularly because like Friends and Aqua Teen and South Park are on it. I saw the trailer for this. I was like, oh my gosh, it's 90 Day Fiance people in like the world of Too Hot to Handle or Love is Blind or Perfect Match or whatever. I was like, this is going to be god awful. And the wife is just like, oh, are these people like worse? Like, are they any worse than like the Netflix people? It's like, yeah, because like the Netflix people, they go on the show and they just like, they're just dumb and they're like 20 and they just get drunk and make a bunch of bad decisions. Like, fine, whatever. These 90 Day Fiance people are legitimately some of the worst people in the world. And now you are putting them in this like love environment. It's like, yeah. You're going to get just awful television. I was trying to figure out like who I recognized. I recognize the one dude. I can't think of his name. I gotta look it up now. Otherwise, I'm just gonna annoy me. 90 Day Looking for Love. I think that's what it's called. Hopefully, Hunt for Love. That's what it's called. Everybody.
Hunt for Love. Yeah.
Yeah, Hunt for Love. If you want to watch it, it's on Max. It's apparently
It's
on
already
TLC.
up. The whole
No,
season.
no. It's on TLC, and then like it airs on Max like the next day or whatever. Why can't I just get the friggin' people? Why? Okay, Chantel. Oh my gosh, Chantel is there.
Oh
Wait,
yes. Chantel's there.
She and Pedro are no longer together.
Yeah, they broke up a while ago. They did their own. They had their own spinoff, Family of Chantel.
The Family Chantel.
Yeah, and they broke up maybe like 2-3 years ago, and then she was on 90 Day The Single Life, and she was like whoring herself out trying to get a new boyfriend from overseas, and
oh my god,
and that didn't work out for her. And then we saw her recently on 90 Day Diary, Me and the Missus, and now she's on Looking for Love. Yeah, we're definitely watching this. I'm literally, you literally got me so hyped. I'm going to yes.
Colty is on here.
Colty and Soldier Boy's on there.
Usman. Yep, Soldier Boy. Yep.
Soldier Boy Usman. Yeah.
Tim. That's the guy I was thinking of. Tim. That dude sucks. That dude's awful.
He's a wrestling fan though, so I give him props for that. But other than that, he's
sucks.
It's pretty sad. He was on 90 Day Diary recently too. His friends were like trying to tell him, "You dress awful. Let's get you to dress like an adult."
Yeah, just those four alone. Like
you would probably hate, but still watch Rob. Rob he's a part of this like online. You could look it up on like Instagram or something. They have a group of these losers from 90 Day Fiance. They call themselves the 90 Day Bad Boys. It's him.
Oh God.
It's him, Natalie's boyfriend. I forget his name, and then Usman's ex, her son, who's now become like a cast member on 90 Day Fiance. So
these people are just the worst people in the world. Just the worst people.
The best trash reality in the world is the 90 Day universe.
Yeah, I might have to watch this, honestly. Like, knowing that I didn't realize Colty was on it. That Tim dude was enough to be like, oh God, yeah, he sucks. And Chantel, I thought her and Pedro were just gonna last because I don't know, just seemed like they were gonna last, even though they had no reason to. None of these people have a reason to last. They're all terrible people. None of them have a reason to last. Yeah, I might have to watch this. Not tonight.
The good people in 90 Days is so like few and far between. Like it's so
are Alexei and I forget her name.
And I forget her name.
They've been together for a while.
But I know I know what you're talking about. They're still together.
Okay, good on them. Yeah, they have like a kid and everything too.
They have I think they have like 2 or 3 now.
Okay, good on them.
Because I think the last time she was on the show on Happily Ever After, the big thing was like she's into like mommy makeovers and getting surgeries and stuff and leaving Alexei to take care of the kids on his own, and she just keeps wanting to get more surgeries where she has to like be bed rest and stuff like that. And it's just like my missus hates her now. Like she's so irresponsible. She's not caring about her actual kids. She's caring about mommy makeovers every freaking month.
Yeah. All right, folks. We'll be back tomorrow. SP3 will be back because Joel only does 2 shows a week. That's all I can do. 2-show Joel out here. SP3, let them know where they can find you at.
You can follow me on the Twitter machine right here at True Hill SP3. I will not be live today over on True Hill Heat. Today was going to be a day off, but Joel made the SP3, the 3 for SP3.
He takes his day off.
3 shows a week. But yes, I won't be live, but we will be dropping my NXT Battleground review on the channel later today. So go over and check that out. Also check out the Patreon for True Hill Heat, patreon.com/True Hill Heat, $3 a month. Best place to support us when we're not live on the channel, where I'm dropping our TNA Under Siege review either today or tomorrow. That should be dropping over there. But thank you as always, Jeremy. Always fun talking to you and talking everything from the world of NBA and wrestling, which we always seem to do.
Appreciate it, you as always, SP3. We'll see what kind of mood I'm in tomorrow. That's not up to me. That's up to the team whose t-shirt I'm sporting right now. Could be in a very celebratory mood, could be in a really good mood tomorrow, or could be in a miserable mood. Again, not up to me. That's up to the Oklahoma City Thunder. But we will be back tomorrow. We'll be talking about AEW. SP3 will have C-Suite review with Evolve crowning the first ever Evolve Women's Champion as well, and whatever else happens in the world of pro wrestling. Appreciate everybody hanging out for the past couple of hours here in the chat with us. Hope everyone enjoys your Wednesday. Until tomorrow. Bye.